Alright, folks, welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host, Josh, and this is part 9 of our Let's Play of The Letter. Last time, we finished things off with Isabella. So Rose had been murdered in her room, and the next day I chose to have her go to work, where she made the connection that the people who had been, disappearing, all the people that had been disappearing at work, were all people that were involved in the mansion. And right after she discovered that, of course, the girl from the ring was there. We had to hide from her, and we did so seemingly successfully, but then it just abruptly cut off, and now here we are playing as Hannah, Miss Richie Rich here. And I had wondered last time, because we took a look at sort of our branching tree here, if it was worth going back and seeing some other stuff first, or if it's worth just continuing along with Hannah. And I looked some stuff up, but then I also realized that this isn't like what I thought it was. See, I thought this worked like, say, a Virtue's Last Reward, or a Zero Time Dilemma, where, you can get to a spot in the timeline, you can click it, and just go back to that point. But that is not the case. If we want to hit a different node, a different choice here, we would have to go back to either a save or the beginning of Isabella's chapter, and then we can skip stuff we've already seen, but then we get to the choice and we have to do that manually from the beginning or from a save point. So I do right now have a save point that is right before we made that sort of last big choice, seemingly, and I'll keep that around for the moment. But for now, I think it makes perfect sense. We just continue along the path, and we see just where this all takes us, where our original choices take us, and then we'll go from there. So here we are with Hannah at some fancy-looking party, looks like. It's far too easy to get them to pay attention, enraptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we're honest, and a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Hannah Wright!
I already like this guy. There's a moment of agitation as a familiar but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He's more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I'm quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I'm only friends with the Chief Inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never had hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think? I might be wrong. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Lexborn Police, his wife, Rochelle Lee Nevance, owns a general electronics company, fridges and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight.
And your facial hair is really coming in.
I see the husband isn't with you.
Oh, this... the way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. But what if he's friends with this guy? You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, and getting close just because my husband is not here. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party. In my own house, if I might add. You're going from this to Haunted Mansion? Come on. Come on. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity. I am hoping, we don't know yet actually, I am hoping we find out soon what day it is. If we've gone back in time, or if we're continuing from where we were. I don't know.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately.
If I had to say, I'd say, 5 out of 10.
Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor.
You know, flirting with some girl that he calls Lily and touching her shoulder, just like you.
The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with her doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
You know, what with her always being pregnant. We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He's a nice enough person, and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him, as much as I want to. He regales to me tales of Luxbourne Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I'm privy to, and though I loathe to admit it, it is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work, but oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft.
Are you a criminal cop?
The look on his face was priceless when I parked in the garage.
I mean, I guess that wouldn't be much of a surprise.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Please bring it back to the only person I care about. Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee, much like my own marriage. He's a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime, if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown. I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife.
Yeah, this is a great guy.
I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads.
See, this is what we needed to make Hannah more likable. She just needed to be around even less likable people.
I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. Or that something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
You know the one, what with the girl and the letter and the hauntings? Lots of ghoul stuff. I know what he's talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagerd Mansion?
The Ermagerd Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that. It'll be a real fixer-upper.
So, I mean, this is implying that we are in the past. before we started with Isabella, probably. Oops.
You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Yeah, that's how you handle it. Just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually,
Come
I
on,
do
Lee.
know of someone who could be up to the task.
Do you?
You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
The only problem was that you were there.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace.
And you see, she's got this cat, right? And don't talk about it, because she hates it.
She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right at... No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough, Marianne, I believe, yes.
Again, with this, like... Can I get confirmation on this? Yes. So, like, this spells it this way, but when Hannah refers to her before, and he refers to her as Marianne...
But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Ooh!
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself.
Do love to be the talk of the
This
town.
place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but... Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. Okay, maybe a lot of people. but it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. I mean, we only have one plate of apples. What am I supposed to even be doing here? As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. I have never... Okay, I have very rarely been in a party of more than 30 people that I've had an enjoyable time at. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words, not mine. Besides, I've been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might like this one. He's into the ghouls. Big ghoul boy. Where is he anyway? Okay, alright. 21st on Friday. So that is here. Okay, so this is quite literally this is the same starting date that we started with Isabella. So where timeline wise is she? No, well, wait, did I miss it? Okay, here, right? Yes. No, that's still Isabella. I don't know. Okay, well, whatever. We know that this is the 21st. Alright, so here we are back at home. Okay. Luke is dressed to the nines, as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side, just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Never trust the butler valet. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol.
Okay, bit of an alcoholic.
And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
Oh, what a fun
If
family.
I may intrude, the madam is correct.
Oh,
Your
geez.
physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in.
Why
last
is
Wednesday
everyone a
morning.
different, like, Western European?
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
Ooh, he did. Moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but...
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Anything my heart desired!
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house
Gordon
tour yours a
Bennett.
chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to come and you are
Excuse me.
going to take a cab home. Are we clear?
It's just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. All couples loathe each other a little bit, right? Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you absolutely hate your partner and never want to see them. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the Triad tasting.
Well, we were all looking forward to the Triad tasting. Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour-and-a-half drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
But Cardiff! The Triad tasting! Certainly any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
A little. I'm not gonna... I mean, okay, there's 2 things here. 1, I'm not gonna remain silent for this absolute D-bag. And 2, if he doesn't like it, I kinda like that, because I don't want this relationship to work. So, I'll defend myself.
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for
Oh,
once
no,
in
he
a
did
very
like
long
it.
time, we
No!
know what I want.
It's all falling apart.
I'm ecstatic. Understood. And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion. You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
Needless to say, Luke looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply, before he crosses his arms to look like, well, a moping
Any
child.
more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
Oh, come off
No
it.
wine.
Not even from the wine cellar.
No wine. Unacceptable. I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure.
Well, you are not in a good place,
I
sir.
see you take one sip today. I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't
Alright.
forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Thanks, Johannes.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor.
The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I'm conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place has been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. I'm interested to see what it is that makes them finally so, like, oh, we're buying this right now. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it could be a place Luke and I can call home. And the number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Lexborn certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property. The Lees are amongst the group who went with the Rose woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. It's interesting to see Isabella finally, from somebody else's perspective. What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. What is her I mean, I've been waiting for somebody to say it. What's up with that Isabel girl? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she's scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale. Then she's panicking over some sort of prank letter or another. The second thing on my mind is how touchy my darling husband is being towards the poor dear. I cannot even plaster a smile on my face, a horrid scowl taking its place. There's no way I can pretend nothing is wrong as I hum.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
I remember this line. He's quick enough to detract his hand, which is all that the girl needs to, well, for the lack of a better word, escape.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Isabella, I already miss you. Come back. I don't like being with Hannah. Her partner follows, shouting after her without hesitation. There's an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor, daft girl and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman Rose to return and pull us aside to the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Interesting, okay. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well, but the woman refuses, saying she is not one of our clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Also, she's like a little insane.
Oh, it's fine. The poor girl must feel so embarrassed about what she just did.
Just like anybody who would try to sort of, touch them inappropriately would feel embarrassed.
But I say, let bygones be bygones. After all, she's only a child. She looked, 19?
I shoot Luke an accusing look at these words. After all, he tried flirting with the girl. The nerve of him. And not only that Isabel girl, but also Marianne and Rose, too. What kind of husband would think that it's even a remotely good idea to make moves on 3 different women while his wife stands there? Did he drink while I wasn't looking?
She's a bit older than that, but again, I apologize. And if there's
Actually,
any
how
way
old
I
is
can
she?
make up for what just happened, just...
Okay, she's 26. Oh, wow, I didn't realize we were the same age. How old is Hannah? 31? Okay.
I know what you can do. Be a darling flower and get us one of
God.
those bottles you plan
Ugh.
to serve.
I hate him so
Keep it
much.
open.
Pop it open.
We were planning on serving some champagne. I can get that.
That would be lovely. Much obliged.
Do you want a glass as well, Ms. Wright?
Oh no, I'm fine.
No, I'm not an alcoholic.
I really shouldn't be drinking right now.
And Luke shouldn't be either. But right now, I'm just too tired for any sort of argument. I don't have the heart to scold him in public as well. I'm certainly not his mother. I just want to get this horrid day done with, go home, and sleep. Perhaps I'll even have a strong cuppa before I head off to bed. Yes, that sounds nice. When Rose comes back with the champagne, I beckon her over. As I have told her partner before, I have every intent of acquiring this house. I might as well, even if I'm having second thoughts about getting it for Luke. The moment we, the Wrights, had expressed interest in this place, we've had eyes set on us. If we don't buy it, that might as well be the signal to have busybodies gossip about how we may or may not have lost our fortune. Regardless of the fact that it is false, image is everything when dealing with these people. These are the unspoken rules for people such as ourselves. And besides, I really did like the place. The ghouls really add something. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. I was about to make a joke about her again, and all except for the ugly painting in the study. It looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce
Here's
that
the
last
deal.
name, but whatever.
I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
Let's do
I
it.
guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here.
No, I hate that Ghost
We'd
Guts.
appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in then?
Mary Ann? Oh, right. She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand.
I'm curious what Marianne's whole deal is. There's a lot going on here, I think, that we have.
And if
Not
you could
even
tell me
scratch
when
the
you're
surface
available
of.
for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
Oh, it's just absolutely. I mean, truly, who would ever hang this up? A hush falls upon the room at my
What
request.
painting?
Well, and lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands, which leads me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
I mean, I guess I appreciate that, unlike Isabella, she's not gonna immediately be like, "Oh my god!" Perhaps maybe I should. I mean, I want to make Hannah less of a jerk, so we're gonna free up our own schedule.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
Yep. Well, I figured Marianne would be happy about that and be unhappy if we chose the other one.
I don't really need another Maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway.
What?
The book club can function without me for one day.
Oh.
What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Ooh, how does lunch sound? Sounds great to me. Besides, my house is a higher priority over book club. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Why, we can get the ring girl to be the leader of it. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern-day writers can match up to the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermengarde, or rather, the Wrights mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then. It's a date.
It's a date.
It's really not.
Oh, Marianne.
All right. Monday. 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who's even awake at that unholy hour? I mean, listen, Hannah, we don't agree on a lot, but we agree on this. I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. Alright, well, we're gonna have to leave things with Hannah there. We can tell that she's already been quote-unquote cursed, so we'll see where this goes and how it connects up to some of the other stuff that we already know about. But until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I have been Josh, and I will see you all next time.